Hello students, and welcome to week 8, the critical assignment. We've climbed some major mountains, but the peak is just ahead, and that is the critical assignment. LDR430, just to let you know what course this is, and I'm Dr. Pike again, and I want to go over this in a way to make it palatable. And in that, when we try to teach information. We try to impart it in 3 specific criteria. 1 is audio, that's why I'm reading it to you. 2 is visual, that's why you can see it on your screen. And all of this information is within the Blackboard course shell. And kinesthetic, and what kinesthetic is, it's the hands-on of actually doing something. And if we meet those criteria, we can make information stick. If we take it to another step and make it experiential, if you actually take this to the field and use it, that information, research shows that it's yours. So what we want to do tonight is go over the information that's contained in the Blackboard shell so you have it. Now you'll notice that these criteria that are at the top of the slide should be headings on your paper. The information below could be subheadings or worked into different areas of the paper. The paper is expected to be 5 to 7 pages long, and we're going to go over the requirements in the actual presentation. So let's begin. Decision-making analysis, the decision-making model. Now you're going to notice that what I'm telling you in this presentation is scaffolded from what you've been doing from week 1 to now. And so the decision-making model is something that we took care of early on in this course, and you remitted these assignments. So you're going to see that the information covered here isn't alien to you. It's stuff that you've already done. Should you have not done any work from week 1 to now, I would be worried, but I'm going to tell you, your work has looked really good, and it will absolutely culminate into a paper. And this is the scholarly process. From what you've done thus far, you're taking information and research that you compiled and you're turning it into a scholarly artifact, a work, a journal, whatever you want to call it. If you were to do this not in the experimental phase of, I have to make this up because I don't have this position yet. But if you were to implement this within the workplace and go through the necessary research steps, you could turn these into articles. And that's the hope. There is a lot of you that have been turning in graduate level work throughout this entire course. And I think the majority of you should consider, if not all, should consider whether or not that you're going to be going on with your education. And I have to tell you, it looks good to me. I mean, as well as I'd seen throughout my whole graduate studies. So you're doing really well. Now, getting back to this decision-making model. Identify and discuss the best suited decision-making model that you have used to analyze the decision in order to enhance the probability of making an effective decision. Explain why this model was selected over others. Are there any shortcomings? Plan for mitigating the impact of biases on objective decision-making. What were the main alternatives to be considered in your decision? Discuss what are the 3 to 5 possible bias-based barriers that can impede your ability to make an objective decision. Explain how you mitigate each of these barriers in order to make an objective decision. Plan for promoting motivation and commitment. Discuss common tendencies in personal framing and preference reversals that can hinder effective problem solving. Examine which strategies that you as a leader can utilize for self-managing motivation and emotion in decision-making. Assess strategies for escalating commitment. Explain the optimal solution that has been concluded and apply Cotter's 8 steps for implementing decisions. Define each step and explicitly explain how you will apply it in order to effectively implement your decision. Decision evaluation. Examine if the decision is in alignment with the organization's mission, vision, values, and goals. If so, how? If not, why? Is there a way that alignment can be achieved? Are there repercussions of the decision in alignment within the organization's brand, their global reputation, basically? Examine ethical considerations, reflect on decision-making process, evaluate the fairness of the decision-making process, assess the repercussions of the decision on individuals, the organization, and society. Reflect on personal faith and ethical values. Consider, is your decision aligned with your faith and beliefs? If so, how? If not, how? How do you think that your personal faith, values, and personal code of ethics informed your decision-making process? Support your introspective analysis. And when they say that, utilize outside sources for that support. Support assertions throughout your paper with class sources and other additional sources as appropriate. That's what we just said. Students should anticipate that this paper will be between 5 to 7 pages in length and APA formatted. Student identifies specific and appropriate problem scenario to which the decision-making process model is to be applied. Effectively examines risks to the status quo, all things being equal, and potential benefits of change. Now, when you see this heading on this page, I want you to realize that this was directly taken from the rubric. It is the left side of the rubric, exemplary side of the rubric. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to put it into the lecture and actually read it to you. The student thoroughly defines each step and explicitly explains how each step of Kotter's 8-step process will be applied within the context of their problem in order to effectively implement their decision. Student explicitly identifies and examines the fairness and ethical impact of the decision at each step of the process. Thoroughly assesses potential repercussions on individual, the organization, and society at large. Proposes specific strategies for mitigating ethical concerns. Student thoroughly integrates biblical, spiritual principles into the solution plan. Explicitly reflects on how personal faith, beliefs, values, and personal code of ethics informed their decision-making process. Introspectively analyzes all of the aspects of decision are aligned with personal faith. Let me read that one more time. Introspectively analyzes if all aspects of the decision are aligned with personal faith. Hard sentence to say, but something that you need to put in your paper. Student presents analysis in sequential, clear, and organized manner with flawless syntax. So you want to use your past, present, and future tenses correctly. Your grammar, there is an expectation of your grammar, and most of your word products, the CBU, I believe, gives Word to all the students, and there is a link for it. And that also covers spelling and punctuation. If you turn them on in Word, they work for you. And I would strongly recommend that you put your papers through that vetted process of letting the computer fix spelling errors and small errors and taking a look at your grammar prior to submission. There is also, it's never a bad idea to trade papers with another student, to have them proofread for you, or a spouse or whomever you have that's near you. We want you to strictly adhere to APA format, including the appropriate use of headings. Reference page is in APA format with a minimum, you heard that, a minimum of 4 references. The in-text citation is consistent and appropriately used to support assertions throughout the essay. Now, you'll note, if you go back to some of your assignments, there were, in the feedback to the students that was added to it, you want to note that was brought out, that for some of your documents, especially in the early phases of the course. But oh man, later on that stuff really improved. I mean, to graduate level work, I've read it myself, and if you're not considering going that way to your next phase of education, you're going to be extremely well written in the workplace. You're all doing very well at that. So you just want to make sure that you get full credit on this. I want to say thank you and God bless. And I want to take a second to talk to you. Now, I'm a new doctor. I got my doctorate in, that might not be the appropriate way to say it. I received my doctorate, or my doctorate was conferred to me in 2017. And I came over, I've spent 24 years in public service. And I'm making the transition to become a professor, to try to relay what I've learned within that 24 years of what leadership should look like, and when it's poor, what it does look like. And I think I can impart that onto other people. But I want to say thank you for helping me through my journey. I've been a teaching assistant. In February will be 1 year. And as an adjunct professor, it has been my distinct privilege to be able to partner with you in your learning to get you through the program. And it's our goal, both Dr. Davis and I, to see you walking across that stage and getting your degree. Nothing is better than that. So I want to say thank you. God bless you. I'm looking forward to reading your papers. Take care.